Have you ever been in a meeting and suddenly everyone looks at you? Your boss asks a specific question about the budget and your mind just goes completely blank? You want to speak, but your heart is racing and you just freeze. It is the worst feeling in the world. You nod and smile, but inside you are thinking, oh no, I have no idea what to say. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, absolutely, Jordan. That is what we call being put on the spot. And it happens to everyone, even native speakers. But when English is your second language, that pressure feels 10 times heavier.
Exactly. Welcome to Hero English, the workplace survival series where you learn to speak like a pro and work like a hero. I'm Jordan, and I still get nervous in meetings every single week.
And I'm Riley. Today, we are going to solve that problem. We are talking about buying time. What do you say when you don't know the answer immediately, but you want to sound professional and confident?
I need this. By the end of this episode, you will have one hero phrase that will save you the next time a client asks a difficult question. Let's get started.
Let's start with three expressions you will hear constantly when the pressure is high in an office. The first one is the idiom I just used, put on the spot.
To be put on the spot. That means someone asks you a question suddenly, right? Like without warning?
Exactly. When you are put on the spot, you are forced to answer immediately. For example, if your manager turns to you in a team meeting and says, Jordan, explain the sales figures for last month right now.
Ugh, I hate that. So I could say to a colleague later, I felt so nervous because she put me on the spot.
Perfect. Now, the second phrase is very useful when you do not have the data ready. It is off the top of my head.
I have heard this. Does it mean I am thinking hard, like it is on top of my brain?
Not quite. It actually means you are answering from memory without checking your notes or computer. You usually use it to warn people that your answer might not be 100% accurate. For example, off the top of my head, I think the budget is $10,000.
Ah, I see. So if I make a mistake, I can blame my memory. Can I say from the top of my head?
Be careful there. The phrase is always off the top of my head, not from, off.
Got it. Off the top of my head. That is really useful for answering quickly. What is the third one?
The third one is a classic business phrasal verb, circle back. This is your best friend when you need to escape a difficult question. It means to discuss something later.
Like, let's circle back to this tomorrow?
Exactly. If a client asks a hard question, you can say, that is a complex issue. Let's circle back to that after I check the data. It makes you sound very organized, not confused.
Okay, Anna, thanks for the update on the design phase, but I have a question about the final timeline.
Sure, Tom. What specifically are you looking for?
Well, the client just emailed. They want to know exactly when the beta version will be ready for testing. Can we launch by the 15th?
Oh, that puts me on the spot a little bit. We're still waiting for the engineering feedback.
I understand, but I need to give them a rough date today. What do you think?
Right. Well, off the top of my head, the 15th seems a bit tight. I think the 20th is more realistic.
Okay, the 20th? Are you sure?
To be 100% sure, I need to check the team schedule. How about I double-check the calendar and circle back to you before lunch?
That works. Just send me a Slack message once you confirm.
That was a great example of handling pressure. Did you notice Anna didn't panic? She used a few other great phrases there. The first one is double check.
I use this one. It means to check again, right?
Yes, but in business, we use it even if we haven't checked the first time. It just sounds more professional and thorough than saying, let me look. You say, let me double check the figures.
I like that. It sounds like I am very careful. What about when she said tight?
She said the deadline was tight.
Good catch, Jordan. When a deadline or a budget is tight, it means there is not enough time or money. It is a polite way to say, that is going to be very difficult. Instead of saying, no, we can't do it, you say, the deadline is a bit tight.
That is so much softer. I once told the boss, that date is impossible. He did not look happy.
Yeah, impossible is a dangerous word at work. Use tight instead. And finally, the phrase rough date or rough estimate.
Rough means not smooth, right? So a not smooth number?
In this context, rough means approximate or not exact. If a boss asks for a rough number, they are giving you permission to guess. They are saying, don't worry about being perfect right now. Now we arrive at the most important part, the hero phrase. This is the sentence you must memorize for when your mind goes blank.
I am ready. What is the magic sentence?
Here it is. That is a great question. Let me double-check the details and get back to you.
I love it. It starts with a compliment. That is a great question.
Exactly. Complimenting the question buys you about 2 seconds of thinking time. Let's try it. Jordan, imagine I am a client asking about a discount. So, Jordan, can you offer us a 15% discount if we sign today?
Oh, that is a great question. Let me double check the numbers and get back to you.
Perfect! You didn't say yes, you didn't say no, and you sounded professional. Here is a variation for a more casual internal meeting. I don't have that right in front of me. Can I let you know in 5 minutes?
That is good for Slack or quick calls. I don't have that right in front of me.
And one more, if you need a lot of time to think. That is an interesting point. Let me give that some thought and circle back.
Okay, let's lock the main one in our memory. Listeners, repeat after me. That is a great question. Let me double check the details and get back to you.
You know, Riley, my problem is that when I get nervous, I speak incredibly fast. I just want the moment to be over, so I rush, and then I make grammar mistakes.
That is a very common reaction to stress, Jordan. The adrenaline kicks in. But remember, speaking slowly actually makes you sound more confident, not less.
It feels like silence is dangerous, though.
Silence is powerful. In this next section, listen to how Anna pauses before she answers Tom. She breathes, she controls the speed. Try to shadow her rhythm.
The client just emailed. They want to know exactly when the beta version will be ready for testing. Can we launch by the 15th?
Oh, that puts me on the spot a little bit. We are still waiting for the engineering feedback.
I understand, but I need to give them a rough date today.
Right. Well, off the top of my head, the 15th seems a bit tight. To be 100% sure, I need to check the team schedule. How about I double-check the calendar and circle back to you before lunch?
That works. Just send me a Slack message once you confirm.
Jordan, I have a cultural question. In my home country, if a boss asks a question, it is okay to be silent for 10 or 20 seconds to think deeply. It shows respect.
But here, people get uncomfortable.
That is such a key observation. In many English-speaking business cultures, especially in the US or UK, long silence can be misinterpreted. People might think you didn't hear them, or worse, that you don't know the answer.
So, I have to make noise even if I am thinking?
Exactly. We call these verbal fillers or bridging phrases. Instead of silence, you say, let me see, or that is a good point, let me think. It tells the other person, I am still here, I am processing.
Jordan asks about the culture of silence in Western versus Asian offices, and Riley explains the importance of verbal fillers.
It keeps the connection open. I once had a colleague from Japan who was brilliant, but he would close his eyes and stay silent for a minute. The American client thought the video call had frozen. They started shouting, hello, hello. It was very awkward.
Oh no. Okay, so the rule is don't just be silent, use the hero phrase to fill the silence.
We have a great question from a listener named Marco in Italy. He asks, I use the phrase, I will get back to you, but 2 days later, I still don't have the answer. What do I do? Do I hide until I have the answer?
Marco, please do not hide. That is the worst thing you can do. In business, communication is more important than the solution.
So I should tell them I still don't know?
Yes, send a quick update. Say this. Hi, I wanted to update you. I am still waiting on the data, but I will have an answer for you by Friday. This builds trust. Ghosting or disappearing destroys trust.
Jordan reads a listener question about what to do when you still don't have the answer after the delay. Got it. So give a status update even if the status is, I am still waiting.
All right, Jordan, time for the quick quiz. Are you ready to be put on the spot?
I am ready. I have my hero phrases ready.
Question 1. If I want to say a deadline is difficult to meet because there is not enough time, I say the deadline is what?
The deadline is hard? No, wait. The deadline is tight.
Correct. The deadline is tight. Question 2. Finish this phrase. Off the top of my...
Off the top of my brain.
No, not brain. Try again.
Off the top of my...
There we go. Off the top of my head. Listeners, did you get that one right? Last one. If I want to discuss something later, I say, let's back to this.
Let's circle back to this. Like a circle.
Perfect. You passed the test.
I feel much better about my next meeting now. I am just going to memorize, let me double check, and get back to you.
That is your weapon against anxiety. So for your homework today, try to use the phrase, let me double check in one email or one conversation. Even if you know the answer, just practice saying it.
Great idea. And if you have a story about being put on the spot, drop a comment below. We love reading your war stories from the office.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for next week's episode on how to disagree with your boss. See you then.
Before we go, I have to tell you about my worst failure with this. A few years ago, a VP asked me a question about our Q3 strategy.
Oh no, what did you do?
My brain froze. I wanted to say, let me think, but instead, I just made a strange noise. I went, meh? And then I just stared at him.
You just grunted at the vice president?
I did. It was so awkward. He just looked at me and said, okay, moving on. I wished I could become invisible. If only I had known the phrase, let me circle back.
Well, at least you didn't faint. See you next time, Jordan.